How are the new books coming along? Do you know when they will be released?
The new books are coming along phenomenal. The revision of the first Dream Seller, which is a new cover, 2 bonus chapters, and a new ending, will be out March 27th, 2017.
And the new ending
will be released.
On, what is it again?
March 27th.
2017.
Yeah, you can pre-order it now on Amazon. Still the same title, Dream Seller.
Still the same title. Okay.
And then I have 2 books to follow. I can't state the titles of them yet because they have not been announced yet.
Can't say the titles because they haven't been announced yet.
Both of them are over 80% finished.
80% finished.
And will be released a year within each other. However you want to say that. A year apart.
Will be released a year apart. There we go. That sounds good. Good?
Yep.
Okay. Can you tell me what the new names are?
Yeah, the second one, which we actually have the footage of me doing that.
That is...
Somebody just happened to be there filming from California, and Franz tracked him down and got the rights for it.
Jesus. I told Franz the story of the Mercedes. I must have told that story 100 times. Like, that's literally like, hey, can you tell me the story about the Mercedes? I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's like a serious
oh my
story,
God. That is,
dude.
and I guess at the time, like, I didn't realize how impactful that would be. And like looking back,
I remember like it was yesterday.
Oh my God, I remember being in the studio
in McDonald's bathroom.
Well, first we were at Westchester.
Yeah.
I was at the studio. I was at the radio station studio. I was recording promos for my radio show. You're blowing up my phone. And you're like, yo, something happened. I need you to come and bail me out, dude. You only want to help me right now. I'm like, okay. What? I just crashed Bam's car. And then you hung up the phone. I was like, okay. It's going to be one of these kind of nights, isn't it? Called Courtney. I'm like, all right, honey, it's going to be a while. And then you wouldn't come out of the bathroom, so I had this skull cap on.
Well, no,
my jacket.
I said I was at the Westchester.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were at the diner on campus, at the Lawrence Diner.
Yeah, I got nervous and I ran into the college thinking I would be hidden by other students.
Right.
The car I just left.
And you were hiding in the bathroom, so I gave you the jacket that I had on and the hat.
I wouldn't come out of the bathroom.
Yeah, we had to hide him, so I had to stuff all of his shit into my book bag. So we like sneak him off campus, and then we're just driving around Westchester here. I'm like, all right, well, how are we gonna? I'm like, dude, and I'm trying to convince you, like, you're gonna go to jail. You have to go and like, you have to handle this right now. You're like, no, I got it. I'm just gonna drive. I'm like, no, we're not.
That's a horrible plan.
This is the worst. I'm going.
We're gonna drive.
And then you're like, just wait, and you keep trying to get me to go to the McDonald's. So in my head, I'm going, okay, well, that's, he probably wants like a, like chicken nuggets or something. I would want it too if I crashed my friend's car. Last thing in my mind is you're getting ready to cop. And then someone shows up who I didn't expect to see. And then all of a sudden, Abby calls me. And like, I'm on the phone with like Mohawk. I'm on the phone with Abby. I'm on the phone with, who the fuck else? I think I'm on the phone with Courtney and all. Abby beeps through and she's like, you need to make sure Brandon doesn't go by himself because he's got drugs on him. And then by that point, you had already ingested all these drugs. So
I remember being in the stall, and I was so paranoid that I swore, as the day is long, that I heard police walkie-talkies outside the stall.
And you thought,
I thought the police were outside the stall, so I just downed all my pills.
In reality, it was Abby on the phone talking to me, trying to tell me that he had pills on him to not let him alone. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get him out of the stall. So we get you in my car. We go to the hospital. I'm like, you need, so like when I was in the first responder role for a while, they did a whole thing like if people hit their head or they're in an accident, you say, what's your name, what's today's date, who's the president, just trying to see if you're lucid enough to know what's happening. So you were like, Brandon Novak, today's the October whatever, Obama's the president. It's fine. All right, so you're fine. But you're really starting to go, like you're crashing fast.
Yeah.
So we get to the hospital, right? And I'll never forget this. We get to this hospital that will remain unnamed because I don't want any lawsuits about it. We get to the hospital, I pull up into the parking lot and I run into the ER. I'm like, my buddy needs help, he's dying. He took some absurd amount of pills. The doctors and the nurses come out, you're in the car, and the doctor looks at you and he goes, slams the door. He's like, it's just another junkie, he's fine, and threw his gloves off, right?
Wow.
You get out of the car and you're like, yep, I'm good. everything's fine. You're doing this jig. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you are dying right now, right? So I put you back in the car, and the nurse pulls me aside and goes, she says, just drive around with him for 15 minutes. Wait till he's completely, like, out. Bring him back here, and we'll get him into we'll administer whatever we need to do. I said, okay, fine. So we literally drove around my car, and I got to the point where you couldn't say your own name. And then that's when I took you back, drug you into the hospital, right? And I'm sitting there, and they're like, oh, well, he needs to be checked in. I'm like, have you seen the color on this guy? Like, you were foaming at the mouth, you know, and your eyes were rolling back. And I said to the woman at the counter, she wanted you to sign the paperwork, and I'm like, there's no way he can sign this paperwork right now. You were sitting there with the book in your hand, and you're going, and I'm trying to direct you. I'm like, sign here, and you're up here, and then you're over here, and I'm just like, get him the fuck back, and get him the Narcan, get him whatever you need to do. At this point, someone has called, I think April saw the footage of you taking the car from Bam's house, called the police and reported the car stolen for the insurance purposes. So then Bam pulls up. Bam had just gotten done shooting the Afterworld video, and he's in the full garb, you know, the hat with this curse. Where the fuck is he? Bam, just calm down for a second. Don't kill me. I'm trying to save you. He goes in the back, right? And the cops are standing there talking to you. And I think he said something along the lines of, glad you're all right, but fucking stole my car. And he's like freaking out. He's like, this asshole stole my car and crashed it. And so, of course, then the cuffs go on. I'm like, oh, man. Like, it was like...
And then in 10 minutes into that conversation, he goes, pack your bags. We're going to Vegas tomorrow.
Like, what? So this whole night is literally an exercise in, like, the craziest shit. Like, when I talk about this stuff in my life, people think I'm making it up. People really think that that this story didn't happen. And it's like, all of it happened. Like,
yeah.
It was real, and I was there. And like, looking back on it almost 5-6 years later, it's like, I can't believe how crucial that story, that night, is to the progression of where you are now. Like, it is literally, like, everything, almost everywhere. Actually, you could map out everything to where you are now, almost to that story, to that night.
And that's why I'm so, I put so much attention on lifting the stigma.
Right.
Because now what you see now, God willing, a doctor sees this video and says, whoa, maybe I shouldn't have went out, opened the door, and discarded this guy as another junkie.
Right.
Because look at him now.
And that was, that night was like, when I heard him say that, I remember just sitting there staring at him like, you took the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and to help people, and you're going to stand here and throw that, like...
Yeah, that makes my stomach turn.
I did file a complaint with the board of people that worked at that particular hospital, and I don't know if it was resolved or not, but I know that I did say something. So, but yeah, that shit was crazy, man, crazy night. Or my favorite stories are like, oh, Novak, is he really naked all the time? Yes. I have seen his penis more times than I think I've seen my own. Like, it's just like, it's an inevitable truth.
You're like the 40th person who said that.
It's like an inevitable truth when you walk into the room. Oh, there's Novak, he's naked again. Like, and it doesn't even, like, I remember Courtney being like, is he always like that? It's just like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. And then it just got to the point where we're both like, hey, what's up, man? And there you are, like, almost spread eagle on the sofa. Like, all right, whatever. It's Tuesday.
One day we're drinking at the house, and like, I forget what event was going on in town, but somehow these kids from Chicago or something came back, and Novak's there. We're all in the radio room hanging out, listening to music in there. Novak just stands up and just pulls down his pants and sits back down.
Like, why?
What happened here?
Pants were fine. They work.
And like, no one else is phased, but these two kids from out of town are like, really? So they go over, and he's wasted. He has the wine in his hand. They help him stand up, and they help his pants go on, and sit him back down. And once they do that, he just stands up again, looks around, down his pants again, to the point where they do it again. But the one guy takes off his belt.
Oh my god!
Like I'm having, like they're not staying up. Right.
Yes. They're not. They're falling down on purpose. Yeah.
And then finally he takes his pants completely off at this point, just walking around. And then we go back out to the kitchen table and we're sitting there, and Andy Candy was there, and he was sitting on your lap to begin with, but he wasn't sitting on your lap after you took your pants off, so he was sitting on my lap. And the one kid goes, yeah, I guess you guys really are as gay as I heard.
Pretty much.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, everything you've heard is true. Yeah.